online and on the go. News 5 at 11 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. We begin with some breaking news and very tragic news tonight. We've just confirmed that a Westchester Marine has been killed while fighting in Afghanistan. News 5's Laura Borchers spoke with his family tonight. She joins us live with more. Laura?
Curtis, this Westchester community is only beginning to learn of the passing of a local hero, a Marine who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Tonight I've been talking with Sergeant J.P. Hewling's mother. Debbie tells me she is in great pain, learning just hours ago that her son was shot in Afghanistan. He had just finished up explosive disposal school. On this second tour of duty, he was taking on new responsibilities. Sergeant J.P. Hewling was home just this past March as his mother took him to the airport. Some of the last words he said were reassurance that he'd be back home soon. Tonight, Debbie is emotional, realizing that was the last hug she'll share with her son. Sergeant Hewling wasn't set to deploy to Afghanistan with his unit until October, but the unit that he would then go on to join needed his help early. And today, when he was on a foot patrol, he was ambushed by what appeared to be an Afghan military policeman. However, his mother tells us that shooter may have been a Taliban militant. Now, Sergeant Hewling has already been recommended for a Purple Heart, and those here in Westchester who are learning of the news tell us they're already working on a way to make sure that he is remembered come Memorial Day. Reporting live in Westchester, I'm Laura Borchers, News 5.
All right, thanks a lot, Laura. Now to some developing news tonight from Churchill Downs. After a possible murder just 12 hours after the Kentucky Derby. Police say a man was found dead this morning in the back of a barn. Police say his injuries suggest he was involved in some type of altercation. But tonight, they say it's still early in the investigation.
At this point, we don't have anything pointing to the fact that this would have had any association in terms of Churchill Downs or the Derby itself.
So far, no arrests have been made. Normally, about 200 people live at Churchill Downs, either in dorms on the edge of the property or in small apartments above some of those barns. An autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow. Also tonight, we're learning more about an early morning shooting in Price Hill. At least 6 people were wounded. Neighbors say there was some kind of party going on with dozens of people inside playing music. Hours later, gunfire erupted. Neighbors say the crowds in and out of this building change from week to week. The faces never familiar.
It's been drawing all the gangsters from every other neighborhood to here. And you get 2 gangsters in there from different gangs, mix alcohol. That's going to happen every time.
Now, we talked to the property owner off camera. He was unaware of the shooting or issues with the building. Police used a warrant to check out the inside of that building, and apparently they found some broken items and other debris along with some evidence of the shooting. Now, police hope someone will come forward with some information about the person who did this shooting. You're asked to call Crime Stoppers if you can help. Turning now to weather, a beautiful end to this weekend, but that is all coming to a big change with a slight risk of severe weather, huh?
That's right, Curtis. By tomorrow evening, it looks like we're going to be dealing with thunderstorms, strong storms in the evening. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. It is the end of a very big weekend here in the Tri-State. The Flying Pig Marathon wrapping up today. On the men's side, it was a past winner crossing the finish line first. Sergio Reyes, he's from California. He was on track early in this race to beat the course record, but in the end, he missed it by just 90 seconds at 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 6 seconds. For the females, it was a local runner taking home the fastest time. Rachel Bay of Kenwood, who's actually a teacher over in Northern Kentucky, went from second in the half marathon last year to being the winner in this year's full marathon.
I just went into this race just going to do it and having fun with it. I've done the training, but with the weather, I didn't have any expectations. I just wanted to enjoy it, and I loved it.
Rachel finished with a time of 2 hours, 54 minutes, and 41 seconds. Hey, talk about an inspiration. Listen to this story. One woman that Rachel Bay had to beat was Allison Delgado. She led for much of today's race, and her story is one of this year's more memorable. You see, Allison is a former winner of the Flying Pig, but 2 years ago, She was nearly killed in an accident when she was hit by a car. The recovery was long and painful, but on this Flying Pig Sunday, her recovery came full circle.
I would just say to anybody who's been through an accident or whatever it is they're going through to never give up. You know, just look to God and never give up. You can still achieve amazing things.
Good for her. And you know, while Allison came in fourth today, her time, get this, was 3 hours, 1 minute and 37 seconds. 2 minutes better than her winning time back in 2005. This year's Flying Pig will be a hard one to top, everything from the storylines and even a surprise proposal. This finish line proposal came as a pleasant surprise to Heather Becker. She finished second in the female full marathon. She says the ring, hey, that is icing on the cake.
Very, very happy. Very excited. Best thing ever. Much better than coming in second.
Well, the spirit of togetherness apparent today with this group of guys. They ran the entire marathon tethered together and breaking a world record by finishing in 3 hours and 4 minutes. Congratulations to everyone who participated. You know, we have a lot of pictures right on our website from today's full and half marathons, as well as yesterday's events. You can click through them or even upload your own. Just look for the banner at the top of our website. Of course, that is WLWT.com. Now, new tonight at 11, 4 people are behind bars tonight after Kentucky State Troopers discover a meth lab inside a motel down in Sparta. Police say they received a complaint back on Friday of a suspicious smell at the Speedway Inn. Troopers say the suspects, all of them in their early 20s, had 2 active labs in a room. Tonight, they're facing several drug charges, including manufacturing meth. Also tonight, a biker is rushed to the hospital after a serious crash in Springfield Township. Police say 61-year-old Craig Austin lost control of his motorcycle and went off the side of the road. He was thrown from the bike. Tonight, he's listed in critical condition over at University Hospital. An unattended grill being blamed for starting a fire tonight in South Cumminsville. It happened this afternoon on Borden Street. A child was the first person to notice all of this and quickly told his mother, who got everyone out of the house. Investigators say it spread through the wiring of the home. Luckily, no one was injured. Tonight, the Red Cross is assisting the family with a place to stay. A man was rescued from the Ohio River this afternoon. He was spotted floating downstream near Covington. A boater pulled him out of the water and got him to shore. He was transported to University Hospital. No word this evening on his condition. Tonight, police are still trying to figure out how or why he got in the river. Still ahead on News 5, the man who played Goober Pyle passing away today. And a massive hole opening up in one family's backyard, threatening to swallow their home. Their reaction and what experts think caused it. And we have much more on today's Flying Pig, from a group of cheering nuns to a family offering some tasty support. But first,
I don't care how many ways you try to explain it. Corporations aren't people. People are people.
the gloves are off as President Obama and Mitt Romney square off. We have the very latest from the campaign trail and talk of who Mitt Romney's running mate might be. You're watching WLWT News 5. Let's turn our attention now to Commitment 2012 coverage. The president taking off the gloves this weekend after kicking off his campaign right here in Ohio and also in Virginia with Mitt Romney, the presumptive Republican nominee. The president took aim, calling into question his ability to help the middle class. Meanwhile, Republicans trying to bring the party together after a long primary season, with attention now turning to a possible vice presidential candidate. Many think Florida Senator Marco Rubio could help deliver Hispanic voters.
This president asked us to hire him 4 years ago on the promise that he knew how to fix this economy and that he would be different, that he would unite this country.
Now, freshman Senator Kelly Ayotte of New Hampshire has also been mentioned as a way to help close the gap with women. But right now, it's all just speculation. The Romney campaign is not leaving any hints. Back home, a big recount set for tomorrow and a Hamilton County election that has gone on now for more than 18 months. It is the controversial juvenile judge election between Tracy Hunter and John Williams. Williams was declared the winner, you might remember, in that election by a small margin. But most recently, some contested votes were counted, and Tracy Hunter was declared the winner by just over 70 votes. Because of the small margin, tomorrow's recount is automatic. Every year, the Flying Pig attracts not only thousands of runners, but also a lot of spirited cheerleaders. Yeah, those cowbells over in O'Brienville. They had a lot of things over there, including the cowbells, a lot of cheering. We spotted a group from St. Margaret who was, let's say, they made this a great event, an annual event for them. They were all dressed for the occasion, sporting plenty of Flying Pig jewelry, shirts, and hats. Now let's take you over to Fairfax. The Whitrock family offering a bit of support for the runners by cheering and even serving a little breakfast. You didn't get any of that, did you, Eric?
No, I missed the breakfast, but I did see the nuns.
They were set up right there at the corner of Elder and Watterson, which is at the top of that big hill. Annie says her family loves to do it, and she says the runners seem to appreciate it too.
We have a great time. And then if I know people who are running, or if they call me and say so-and-so's running, we put a sign on our fence for them. And so, yeah, we try to accommodate everybody.
Great for them. She says they've been doing this now for about 7 years. That's when the course started going past their home. What a great, great event this is. You ran in it, I know, along with a few other folks here at Channel 5. I'm amazed that you are still even awake at this hour.
I'm ready for some sleep. But, you know, the event, it's incredible. I'm not a big runner, but after running today, people cheering you on, right. You get Gatorade as you run around. It's pretty fantastic. The nuns were there cheering you on. It keeps you energized for quite a while.
Good for you. Good for you.
A good time, some beautiful weather today, and it does look like as we head into tomorrow, we're going to run that chance for maybe some severe weather, and that's going to mean some big changes as we head on through the week. If you like spring weather, you like cooler temperatures, so George and Curtis, you can take your pick. Whatever day you want to play golf, beautiful.
It's an impressive cage. Not built, I think, for me.
Built for something a lot stronger than you.
Oh, I've heard.
That cage almost as impressive as our weather, huh?
Yeah.
The Avengers dominating the box office with the biggest opening weekend of all time. That's right. The superhero film took in $200 million since its Friday night debut. The previous record, $169 million, by last year's Harry Potter. In a distant second place was Think Like a Man with $8 million. The man who spent 30 years playing Goober Pyle on the Andy Griffith Show and Mayberry RFD has died. George Lindsay passed away down in Nashville after a brief illness. His role as Goober continued on the syndicated Hee Haw program until it went off the air back in 1993. George Lindsay was 83 years old. Hey, here's something you hope you never see in your backyard. A massive sinkhole. It opened up sometime early Thursday morning down in Orange County, Florida. That's right around the Orlando area, swallowing a couple trees, and it's now threatening a family's home. They appeared on the Today Show this morning to talk about discovering this sinkhole.
She came up, I was still in bed. In fact, she woke me up and said, "Lou, there's a hole in the backyard," and I told her it's probably a warthog. I don't know why I said warthog, but
I said, "No, there is a hole."
She was shaking, and then when I saw her shaking and the panic in her face, we both ran downstairs, and as we ran down, it was collapsing. The ground was collapsing into itself.
Yeah, not a warthog. A big warthog. You better believe it. Hey, the family has been forced to evacuate their home. As for the cause, experts believe dry weather conditions could be a factor. Wow, can you believe that?
It was just a mole or something.
Yeah, that's a little scary. Hey, let's talk about the Reds. Got out of Pittsburgh with 2, huh?
Yeah, they did.